What's going on, fellas? I got to do another gallium coil bend today. Had a lot of problems doing a stainless steel coil bend today. This tubing's a little bit thinner than the stuff I've been getting, and I didn't realize that. And it just doesn't bend the same. So filling this stuff up with soap water and freezing it is just not gonna work. You can see right there on a very critical bend, I accidentally cut it like an idiot. Trying to measure this coil, but see that bend right there? So we're gonna revisit the gallium. We're gonna fill this coil with gallium metal, and then we're gonna rebend it to the shape that I need. Got a bottle of gallium here. I'm hoping this is enough. All right, fellas. Wish me luck, man. My well-being depends on this damn coil. This piece feels frozen. I decided to stick with the gallium versus a galvanstein or a woods metal or some type of alloy that's liquid at room temperature. Because I decided I do, in fact, want the alloy to freeze. It makes things so much easier. Uh-oh. We're not frozen. Oops. I have frozen the coil because I was, as usual, impatient and did not let the gallium freeze properly. Ooh, man, it's breaking. I can feel gallium breaking. It is a brittle metal, so I don't know if this was a good move with the freezing, but it's certainly not wrapping around the rod the way I would want it to. It's not very tight wrap, so to say. Oh yeah, it's trying. I need to back you up. Come on, bro, you're in the way, man. There was one bend. It doesn't look so fancy because some gallium sprayed out of the top on me. We'll take a look at it though. Because this portion's mostly steam, I think it's gonna be just fine though. That ain't so bad. It looked a lot worse than I thought it was. So that'll do. I'm gonna spread this out, but as you can see, we got an extremely tight coil there with gallium metal. This is far better than water because it just the way water works. Water transfers hydraulic pressure through the line, guys. I figured it out. I figured out why water isn't 100%. As we've seen in a recent test video, I was able to achieve a pressure of 1,000 psi's inside the copper coil simply by the bending action of the tubing. Now that 1,000 psi's, you can better bet your life that it's expanding that tube. Maybe not a lot, but it's acting like an air balloon, a metal balloon. It's exactly what's happening. So when we try this critical bend right here with water, we're getting far too much kinkage. Not only because water is A, compressible, but B, copper and stainless steel are expandable. So even in the stainless steel coil, when we tighten this up with water, it has a hydraulic action to it. The same thing with frozen soap water. I think the frozen soap water also is like toothpaste. I think ice is like toothpaste because it's so slippery. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but even with ice, I got some undesirable characteristics, and I chalked it up to dissolved gases in the ice become air bubbles and then give me an area. Something weird's going on, but this appears to be far better. So, okay, this is the part of the bend. That really kills me. This is when we go from the minor diameter to the major diameter. And I've built this little tool to do it. So here goes. Fun, fun. And so far, it's working amazing. Wow, just the tiniest kink there. Let me get you a look at that. Now I could probably polish that up. That's totally acceptable. That's the part of the bend that just really freaks me out. It's very hard to achieve that without kinking right there. And the gallium is working beautifully. Fellas, I apologize for the horrible camera work. I'm gonna make it a New Year's resolution to acknowledge the fact that I have to be a cameraman if I'm going to film things for people. I'm sitting here editing footage and I'm watching a guy filming an earthquake, for crying out loud. So, man, I can't imagine what I'm doing to you. So, we're gonna chill that out. No more shaky earthquake cameraman. In the next video, you're gonna see some earthquakes in this one. Okay, so this shows me that the concept of using a rolling machine is gonna work. I'm so glad I tried this again. I almost gave up on gallium because of some things I read about gallium embrittlement, but that's a copper tubing thing. Stainless steel is completely impervious to the gallium. And it showed no mechanical defects in lab testing subsequent to gallium exposure. So you can make stainless steel gallium pumps, stuff like that, no problem. Okay, here comes the last critical bend. It's a down and around bend. Oh, and it did beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Okay, it's not done, but as you can see, the critical bend number 3 is right there, and it's just beautiful. Critical bend number 2 is visible there, has a minor kink. It's an actual bend in the metal because of the sharp surface of my tool. I intend to beef that up somehow, maybe with a copper cap over it or something. And the first critical bend is when I wrap it around this washer to start the loop on the tube. And that's that bend right there. And it is also in really good shape. We've got nice concentricity down the barrel there. We'll be able to bend that down a little bit. This turned out to be a beautiful coil. Let me show you what it looks like when I'm done. It's a little far off for my taste. We still got gallium in there. I can hear it crying. Hear that? That would be tin cry. Kind of sounds like a tree blowing in the wood when you're in a tree house. One, two, three, four. Uh-oh. 5, 6. Yeah, that's too much standoff, but can't have it all. Okay, I'm now just going to use a heat gun to heat this thing up and hopefully get most of the gallium to fall out. Let's see how that goes. Finally starting to fall in there. It's got quite a rough path to go. They want a whole bunch of it. It's really flowing now. That may melt this bottle. Alright fellas, so I did use this pump to flush some hot water through this thing when I was done. A very small amount of gallium did come out. And this has got to be the best coil I've ever done. There's that one little kink right there, but look at it. It's completely non-consequential. And that's just from me bending it up against this extremely sharp surface right here. That lip right there caused that. So if I make that fatter and maybe copper it up or something, for the most part though, the other critical bend, which is right here, phenomenal. I wish I could find the old coil. I kind of just threw it somewhere. You can kind of see here on this one. You see that kink right there? I cut this coil up to try and get the exact length on it after I made it, because it was a damaged coil anyway. But this kink right here, and there's a couple other spots. Nothing right here. You see how this is cone shaped? How the coil's bigger? Those were all the same size. This is with just the frozen. It was froze good there, and then it kind of... So, we don't get any of this action with gallium. None of this strange growing, because ice expands so much that the length of it actually tries to grow. This stuff doesn't expand very much. So I'm going to call this 100% success. We got all the gallium out of it. I can now straighten this thing up, weld it together, and this will be mounted on this Zeus torch right here. This is a high-powered blowtorch that uses air pressure to augment the flame. And that's pretty much going to be stuck in there like that. So there you have it. All you guys out there building coils, man, when I first started doing this stuff, there wasn't a lot of good ideas out there. Filling the tube full of wax and full of lead is just a nightmare. And some of these tight bends, salt gets stuck. Salt turns into a big pill. I don't know if you've ever taken an aspirin or any type of hard pill before. Those pills are made out of compressed powder. So what do you think happens in these tight regions when you crush it with 1,000 pounds of force? 1,000 PSIs anyway. It basically turns it into a solid salt pill that will not come out of that coil. You'll spend all day trying to get that salt out. I have never tried the fine sand. It may be less susceptible to the pilling, but I'm not going to bother. I think gallium's the way to go. I'm going to have to buy some more. I lost some that trip. But I'm going to set up a little station to make it easier to do. But this is definitely how I'm going to do this from now on.